Hey everybody, welcome to another, I was about to say Cornercast podcast. Jeez. Welcome to CastorsCorner.com. I'm your host Khalil here for another live toy of the day. Thank you guys for sitting through last night's video. I know it wasn't our normal kind of video, but it really is the heart and soul of what keeps me ticking every day. And we will let you know how he's doing as things progress. But thank you for all the kind words. I had a lot of people reach out to me, and I really appreciate it. It is not going to be a easy road going forward, but we keep moving forward day by day because the goal is to give him the best life that anybody could ask for. And I said, yeah, anybody, because he's my heart. Anyway, so getting back to CastorsCorner.com. I promised a review from the new Iron Man wave, and that's what we're going to do tonight. We're actually going to combine it with something that has been sitting back there for a while and actually was one of my top 10 toys of the year for last year. So we're going to talk about two things today. I did get the new Iron Man wave. So happy to have it in hand. It is Iron Man heavy, and we are going to break it down a little bit and not do everybody all at once. And really focus on some of these characters. Before I forget, you can follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media. You can check out the Cornercast podcast on Apple Podcasts this week with Bill, next week with Jesse and DJ, and more to come. We are scheduling those out. And our friends at the Nacelle Company reached out today, and I just want to put this out here. A Toy Store Near You Season 3 premiered, and really have enjoyed watching the stories of the toy stores that were having a very difficult time in a lot of different ways during COVID, and continue to. And I've really enjoyed getting to hear those stories. And now that things are opening up a little bit, I hope to be able to take a trip to see some of the ones that are close enough for me to drive to, and when I travel to other places, get to see some of those. So hopefully you've checked that out, and if you haven't, it is well worth a watch. And I've actually reached out to some shops and said, hey, is this still in stock, and tried to buy stuff. And so that's one of the goals. So I hope that you guys do that too. Anyway, so back to our focus today is we're going to take a look at the modular suit Iron Man. Now, here's the thing. And we're going to take look at his partner, because you can't do this Iron Man without this War Machine, which was one of my toy of the years for last year. Like I how do I say this nicely? I don't know much about Iron Man's armors. Sorry. Growing up in the 80s, didn't read a lot of books. I looked at a lot of books. So understanding the reasoning behind some of the armors and the choices, I had to go look up why this was a modular armor, why they called it the modular armor. It's good reason. Tony Stark wanted an armor that he can add things to when needed, and thus calling it the modular armor. But it's probably one of the more iconic suits that Iron Man has worn over the years for a lot of different reasons. One, the yellow and gold is always a good look for him. You know, when he can do other suits, like we will see later in the next week or so with our other looks at this wave. But the yellow and gold is iconic. It captures the old look of the old costume, but the extra little pads and the extra lines, the piping around the mask and around the arc reactor, and all those things really scream late 80s, early 90s to me. This also screams Marvel Capcom for me. Playing as Iron Man and Ryu, or Iron Man and Wolverine, and beating Brian so many times. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. This is a really big armor for me. And they've tried to do it in the past, or something similar to it, but they haven't really successfully made it look this good. And you'll see the pictures. You can go to CastorsCorner.com for a full gallery. And like when this War Machine came out, I couldn't wait, because When Toy Biz did the 2-packs, these work together. Now, what's missing on this Iron Man is the ability to remove the mask. All the Toy Biz Iron Man figures, I think all of Toy Biz Iron Man figures had a removable faceplate, which was one of the coolest things in the world. And Hasbro, for the most part, has gotten away from that. And they usually give you a swappable head as an option. Now, this Iron Man did not come with a swappable head, but lucky enough, one of the other Iron Mans that I will talk about later in the week did come with a swappable head. And it's not perfect. It sits a little bit high, but I think that looks pretty good for an unmasked Iron Man holding his helmet. If I can pull that off, I think that looks pretty good. And when you pair it with this War Machine, I mean, like this is my late 80s, early 90s like childhood dream to have these two together. And honestly, I didn't know much about Rhodey, James Rhodes, before the MCU, to be 100% honest with you. I knew he was best friends with Tony Stark. I knew that he was an important part of the comics. I knew that he was War Machine. I knew all the general things, but knowing more about him, his relationship with Tony, and even in the modern comics, when I was reading Iron Man in the modern comic world, Rhodey didn't come up as much. I think he had already kind of been his own thing. But the flat top and the lines in the side, I mean, growing up like I did, I had those lines. The guy who cut my hair also made lines like a checkerboard, but the beard, the flat top, the cuts in his face, like it's stunning. And then when you add on not only that, but he also comes with all these attachable weapons. So he comes with the shoulder cannon and the rocket launchers, and then you can actually add on said rockets. Oops. I will get it, I promise, because we're dropping stuff. It must be late. And there goes the chair. I'm getting a new chair this weekend. There you go. So he can launch his rockets. He can fire his cannon with a burst like that. And then you can have him fire from his wrist gauntlet like that. Where is it? There it is. So like he is just ready for war. Like he's War Machine. They also give you the little smoke effects for those, and then the single fire effects for those, which, I mean, you can't get better than that. And then you've got his rocket boots. Oops. Which can go into these blast effects that he can stand on. So, like, top to bottom, this Deluxe Rhodey is really one of the best figures that the Marvel team has ever done. And then when you pair it with this modular Iron Man, it just makes a perfect pairing for action figures. So, I mean, that with this. Oh, Iron Man. Look, so Rhodey was a deluxe. He was $30. This Iron Man is normal price, which I believe now is up to $22. But he does come with fists, so you can swap those out. Oops. Let's see if we got those. So he does come with fists. He does come with the blast that you can have on his feet, or you can put them on his hands and have the repulsor blast firing out at somebody. So I'll pose these out a little bit better so you can get some action shots of them. Full gallery will be up on castorscorner.com by the time this thing is loaded up. But I mean, this pairing of these two figures with War Machine and the modular armor Iron Man, just like give us more Marvel Capcom is basically what I think. No, but like I like having these very iconic looks that fit together. I think one of the magic pieces of comic books is building eras. Eras are a very important piece of comic history for individuals. I grew up in the era, or reading the era of Jim Lee's X-Men. I was very, very taken by that design. I was very, very influenced by Jim Lee's. Okay, I like Jim Lee, I guess. Jim Lee's artwork on Batman. And so those iconic looks and McDaniel's work on Nightwing, and when we think about those kind of things, were influenced by that. And so this stylized look of these two characters with the unmasked heads and all the weapons and everything, when you put them together, this is what I imagine when I think of Iron Man. I mean, I might feel like a little bit like Secret Wars, early 80s, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends Iron Man, but this really holds a much bigger place in my heart for Iron Man because of all the times playing Marvel Capcom with Brian. So this is an armor that I've been waiting for a while, and very happy to have, and he will have a prominent place in the display someday when I can actually fully display all things everywhere. So thank you guys for watching the review. Sorry, 2 figures, long-winded, but we'll have a great gallery up on castorscorner.com for you guys to take a look at. You can follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media, and you can check out the Cornercast podcast. Subscribe it, share it, tell us who you want to hear on it. There are a few people that are not invited. That's a conversation for another day. But we'd love to talk to more people, and we're trying to make some of those things happen. Our very famous toy reviewers. So thank you guys for watching. Go to castorscorner.com for a full gallery of these things. And thank you for joining us for another Toy of the Day here on castorscorner.com. Thanks, guys.